Secrets concerning the Son of Beast. I mean, you hate to think it might have happened, but did Kings Island hide the truth about the roller coaster's safety?
Well, an engineer who inspected the ride says yes, and he's now telling his story tonight. News says John London is live with the new twist in the Son of Beast saga. John?
Well, Cherie, heavy criticism from the state's lead investigator about what he calls piecemeal repairs to the Son of Beast, and it certainly adds to the lingering question about whether the ride will reopen next year or ever.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. The state investigator who examined the Son of Beast says Kings Island put riders at risk. In a video deposition, Rick Schmizzy dissected photos of the wooden coaster and structural weak points right down to the loose bolts.
I could have spun it with my finger.
It was that loose?
It was that loose. And this is not the failure location. This is another location.
Schmizzy says when the Sun debuted 9 years ago, park owners could tell the ride was swaying too much. But instead of shutting it down and treating the whole patient, a 5-acre coaster, they took a Band-Aid approach.
It was more of let's see what we can do to kind of make it work along the way. And I thought that was a poor way to approach the problem.
With all the initial capital that went into Son of Beast and the many years' worth of repairs, it's probably a $30 million investment. It would be a huge undertaking to take it out, let alone replace it with something comparable.
But on the other hand, in going forward, if it's going to continue to be a liability for the park, they're going to have to make a difficult decision on whether to keep it or take it down.
Kings Island has made no public decision about the future of its idle investment. It was shut down in June. The state's lead investigator says Kings Island had all the necessary information to make a sound decision about fixing the Son of Beast.
And in my opinion, they didn't make the correct decision.
Now, News 5 tried several times today to reach Kings Island for comment about what the state investigator said in the video deposition, but we've received no return calls. The last public announcement from the park about the ride came in August when it said the ride would not reopen for this season. Live at Kings Island, John London, News 5.
Power out and visitors stuck on rides. This is the third incident at Kings Island Amusement Park just this month.
Power went down. There were a couple of cars hanging, with people sitting in them. They sat for about 20-25 minutes.
Well, it was a night of chaos at Kings Island. The power outage shut down multiple rides throughout the park, sending guests home early. 9 on Your Side reporter Amy Wattis is live with what the park has to say tonight. Amy?
Well, Jason, as you mentioned, this is the third incident here at Kings Island in a matter of weeks. Now, smoke was detected on Flight of Fear 2 times earlier this month, and tonight a power outage affected multiple rides and restaurants here at the park.
I imagine they'll be giving some refunds today, would be my guess.
Todd Robertson made the trip from Louisville to Kings Island with his son just to ride Banshee.
Went over to Banshee, got in the line, and power went down. There were a couple of cars hanging, with people sitting in them. They sat for about 20-25 minutes or so, and then they finally got them off there.
Mayhawk Aurora and her friends were the unfortunate ones to get stuck on in Vertigo.
We were just going up, and we just got stuck, and they didn't say anything to us, so we were just like, why did it pause? So we were just there for 15-20 minutes? Yeah. Not that bad. And we played I Spy.
We didn't go up very high, so it wasn't that bad.
The park lost power in limited areas around 6:40 p.m. Kings Island issued a statement saying guests were safely unloaded from the few rides that were affected. Power is in the process of being brought back up in those areas. Many of the major rides are already back in operation.
One of the employees that we talked to said that it seems like they've been having some power issues between 3 of the rides that are on the same grid that had issues before. The Flight of Fear and the Drop Tower, I guess, had issues in the past. And now Banshee's maybe on that same power grid or something.
A Duke Energy spokesperson told 9 on Your Side the problem stems from inside the park and is related to their internal equipment.
After everyone kind of realized what was going on, people just, I would say people tried to make the most of it and not try to kill the day.
And due to today's power outage, the park stayed open longer than its normal closing time of 10 p.m. It's unclear right now if all of these rides are back up and running. Of course, we will let you know when they are. Amy Wattis, 9 on Your Side, live from Mason.
Amy, that is frustrating. And when people are frustrated out there, they often send us pictures and complaints via email, Twitter, and Facebook. Like this one viewer sent us a picture of the line at Diamondback not moving. Of course, you can get out of the line eventually, but what you can't do is get off of a ride when you're stuck in the middle of it, like this roller coaster that's obviously going up the hill. Somebody else wrote that the Banshee, along with a handful of rides, are still not operational at this point. That was about 7:45 this evening. Now, if you want to share more of your photos with us tonight, visit the 9 on Your Side Facebook and Twitter pages.
18-year-old in juvenile court today, accused of bringing a gun to Kings Island on opening weekend.
So unfortunate here. This all happened Saturday evening. Saturday was the opening day for Kings Island. It forced part of the park to close, at least temporarily. WLWT News 5's Danielle Dindak joining us now with the very latest live. Hi, Danielle.
Ashley, Cherie, as you can imagine, this was a very scary situation for many people, but I would like to let you guys know that both Kings Island and Mason Police are staying tight-lipped about this investigation. But I can tell you that this afternoon, the 17-year-old from Westwood was in a juvenile court, and according to documents, he is accused of having a black bag, and inside was a stolen handgun. We know around 6:30 Saturday night, someone inside the park notified a Mason police officer about suspicious activity. And according to court papers, when an officer went to speak with the teen, the 17-year-old took off, leading police on a wild chase. At one point, the teen hopped a fence into the park, getting into different areas, including those restricted from the public, and eventually police found him hiding in the woods.
One male had a firearm in King Island, running towards Great Wolf Lodge.
Their tallback male running towards Great Wolf Lodge with a weapon.
Now, police recovered a 9mm handgun along with ammunition. This teen faces a list of charges, and we have those right now over on our website. Now, the teen will be held until his next court hearing, and that will be on April 26. Reporting live in Mason, Danielle Dindak, WLWT News 5.
Now, fire crews rush to the scene. A ride at Kings Island evacuated after heavy smoke starts to fill up the Flight of Fear building. WLWT News 5's Karen Johnson live right now at the Mason Park with more of the details. Karen?
And Mike, I'm told 18 people were exposed to the smoke. 2 were treated here at Kings Island, but none had to be taken to the hospital. Now, this all happened just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. Emergency crews were originally dispatched for reports of a structure fire. But when they got here, they say they found heavy smoke inside the Flight of Fear building. The ride was evacuated. It turns out it was an electrical motor which had been smoking, but it was not on fire. Crews ventilated the building, and the scene was cleared just about an hour ago. Reporting live tonight in Mason, Karen Johnson, WLWT News 5.
Emergency crews rushing out to Kings Island after reports of a person being hit by a roller coaster. Thanks a lot for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Mike Dardis.
And good evening to you. I'm Cherie Palillo. Just a terrible situation tonight. This all happened late this evening. WLWT News 5's Rachel Hersheimer live outside of the park tonight with more on what we are just finding out from Kings Island and the police. Hi, Rachel.
Mike and Cherie, Kings Island and police sent us a statement just a short time ago telling us a 38-year-old man entered a restricted and fenced-off area of the Banshee roller coaster. It is believed that he was hit by this ride. He was taken to UC Westchester Hospital, then airlifted to UC Medical Center. Police have now listed him in critical condition. Take a listen to the moments right after 911 was called about this accident here at Kings Island.
Traumatic injury, Banshee, 6300 Kings Island Drive.
Approximately 7 minutes out with an unknown age male, approximately 30s to 40s, who was struck at 68 miles an hour by a roller coaster at Kings Island.
And now back out here in Mason again, we are told a 38-year-old man entered this restricted part of the Banshee roller coaster where it was fenced off. Police and Kings Island believe he may have been hit by the roller coaster. They are listing him now in critical condition. What we don't know is why he was in this restricted part of the Banshee roller coaster and this part of this amusement park. Those are questions we will be asking. And when we learn any new developments on this breaking situation, we will pass it along. For now, live in Mason, Rachel Hersheimer, WLWT News 5.
All right.